Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, stakes races galore on New York Showcase Sunday at Belmont at the Big A. The Empire Distaff's one of the featured races. $250,000 event for fillies and mares. Race number 9 at 1 1/8. Let's take a look at this field. Pretty good group in here, Mike. Brattle House is 2-1 on the morning line, but she was also 1-2 last time out and she got beat. And she was 4-5 the time before that and she got beat.
Yeah, I mean, she's not necessarily the kind of horse you want to have a ton of confidence in her. She's also going to stretch out around 2 turns for the first time. So they're asking a lot of her here. She's fast enough to win, to be sure. I just felt like more than anything else, Dan, this was sort of a wide open race without a standout.
There appears to be some pace in this race as well. We'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector. Brattle House, as Mike mentioned, is stretching out with speed. Let Her Inspire You is getting back to 1 1/8. She can be forwardly placed, although she's not a speed ball. Carrigate and Sunset Louise, the 3 and the 2 respectively, have some speed, and so does Sweet Mystery. But personally, I think Brattle House is going to get to the front.
Yeah, I think she's going to get to the front too. That's her best running style. I think that's probably where they want her in here. We'll see if she can get early control. Because if she does get early control, I guess she could be dangerous in here, Dan. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about the distance for her, and I'm a little concerned about her last 2 starts.
The number 1 Sharp Star is the defending champion in this race, and she'll hope for a fast pace up front. She's done some nice things in her career. She earned a triple-digit buyer speed figure at Aqueduct back in 2020. Of course, she won this race last year. The question is, what kind of form is she in now as she's getting older at the age of 5? Her last race, probably nothing more than her prep. Her first start since April off of going 7/8 of a mile, and she caught a race without much pace.
Yeah, I mean, she also caught a really sharp horse in that race. Betsy Blue's just in raging form right now. This horse was off a layoff there, cutting back. I have no problem with them stretching her back out in this race. She did, as you've already pointed out, she won this race last year, coming from way out of it with a really fast pace in front of her. And maybe she gets a similar setup here, Dan. I don't know. I can't say that I love her in this race, but I won't be surprised when she runs well.
The lightly race number 2, Sunset Louise, a 3-year-old filly, was a good-looking winner 2 starts back, coming out of the chute at Saratoga, a first-level allowance race where she utilized stalking tactics. Last time out, she was up close on a solid pace. She actually made the lead in that race. She was no match for Let Her Inspire You. Now she stretches out around 2 turns for the first time. I think they revert to the tracking tactics of 2 back.
I do too. She didn't have any real excuse last time, though. She wasn't taking a lot of pressure up there. She was no match for Let Her Inspire You in that spot, but she still ran an okay race. I'm a big fan of this filly, Dan. I think she has a lot of upside. I think she's pretty talented. She has the pedigree to handle the added distance here. I think there are things to really like about her. I just don't like her last race that much.
Carrigate, the number 3, finished 3rd behind Let Her Inspire You and Sunset Louise in that second-level allowance race. She is yet to win on fast going, both of the wins on wet tracks, but she's very consistent. She's usually there or thereabouts at the wire and just needs a slight buyer boost. Tell me about her last start.
Yeah, she hasn't run the figure yet that makes you think she's going to be really competitive in here. I wonder if she has it coming, though, Dan. Listen, she didn't have any excuse last time either. She didn't. I'm not going to sit here and try to, suggest that she ran as well as the winner did in there. But it was just another, rock solid performance from her. And more than anything else, I think she wants distance. I like her races when they go longer with her. 3 starts back. They went the 2-turn, 9 furlongs at Saratoga. She won easily. It's the fastest race of her life. And she really stayed at the end. And I think those are all positives for her here in this race.
Up next is the 4, Sweet Mystery, never off the board from 5 lifetime starts, a gray filly that's going to be trying 2 turns for the first time. Let's watch her most recent start. First level allowance for trainer Patrick Quick, and she was very game in this race. She basically hooked up with the runner-up on the backstretch, and they just throw it down all the way to the wire.
Yeah, she's pretty game to hold on here. She was heavily favored over this horse to her outside, Know It All Audrey, but Know It All Audrey somehow has really upped her game recently, and she bounced out of this race to come back on Thursday here at Aqueduct to win with another 85 buyer. So I think this race was validated for Sweet Mystery. The question is, can she stretch out?
The Five Ice Princess utilized the turf to dirt move to finish second in this race last year behind Sharp Star. She was favored in last year's Empire Distaff. Her most recent dirt effort came in the off-turf Yado 2 starts back. Make Mischief ran away and hid over those muddy conditions. She's done some good work against listed stakes competition on dirt. She's good on dirt. She's good on turf. And 9-2 is a fair price.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I much prefer her as a dirt horse. I don't really like her as a turf horse at all. I think this is the best surface for her, though. The distance is fine. She can, she stays. She doesn't need to be on the lead. If any pace that shows up is only going to help her. There's a lot to like about her. She just doesn't win that often.
Frost Me, the number 6, second start off a short layoff. She caught a sloppy track last time out, but she likes sloppy tracks. And she finished evenly in that open first level allowance race. She's already gone through both of her New York bred conditions. She probably needs to run just a little bit faster, but she might get the right race flow.
Yeah, she might. And the last time that she won, and you're going, all the way back to February in the 1-turn mile here at Aqueduct, when she won that day, big solid pace in front of her. She closed and she won, and she's going to hope the same thing happens here.
When Brattle House wins races, she's fairly impressive, and it looks like maybe, just maybe, she's going to live up to that $775,000 purchase price. But then her last 2 races show up, and she's gotten beaten both times. One against the aforementioned Betsy Blue, who's very fast, and then this race going a 1-turn mile over a sloppy racetrack, a race in which I thought she made a pretty easy lead, Mike, and she's just going to get run down at the end.
Yeah, I mean, she made an easy lead in each of her last 2 starts. And she just, for whatever reason, the thing that I don't like about the last 2 starts, Dan, is, and they're both come back, relatively fast. She just doesn't really put up much of a fight. Betsy Blue sort of stormed right by her 2 starts back, and she didn't do anything about it. This horse easily outfinishes her here. I don't know. I'm just concerned, stretching out here with other speed to deal with. What is she going to do when they come for her in the stretch? And I think somebody will come for her.
I do like her stretching out, though. She did win going a mile and a 16th, albeit 1 turn. I think she has enough pedigree to get the mile and an 8th. It's all about whether she can relax and drop the anchor, or at least will Javier be able to drop the anchor on the backstretch. Let her inspire you as a lot of talent. This horse has won 3 of the last 4 starts. The loss, though, came going a mile and an 8th. Maybe the distance is a bridge too far, but let's watch her most recent start. She was just better than both Sunset Louise and Carrigate in that race. She sat just in behind the lead. She gets to the outside, and she's very game to run past these horses. She has good tactical speed. She figures to be sitting just off the lead. Lots to like.
Yeah, had a perfect trip in this race, but also wins pretty convincingly. It's a good performance. The 9 furlong race 2 back, she ran fine in there. They put her on the lead. Fingal's Cave, who was the odds-on favorite, just sort of sat with her on the pace. This horse put up a pretty good fight that day, Dan. She just couldn't hold that horse off, but I thought she ran fine.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Empire Distaff. I'm not sure I trust Brattle House completely. I do want to give her one more chance going a mile and an 8th. I think the distance is going to be good for her. I understand your position. Throw her out. She's going to be a short price with all the question marks. Tell me about Carrigate.
More than anything else, then I don't want the short prices in here. I think this race is too wide open for that. And to me, it's just sort of all about distance. And I think Carrigate is one of maybe the few horses in here who benefits from the distance. I'm going to hope that it, plays to her favor here, and she can, run maybe her best race at a price.
3-5-1-2 for Mike. 10-1 on the morning line for Carrigate and Dylan Davis. 7-4-8-2 for me. It's the Empire Distaff at Belmont at the Big A on Sunday. Good luck.